Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Kawaiian and MalGanis on Dusk Towers. In the bottom side of the map, we have the red Terran player representing Team Exile 5. It is Kawaiian. And at the top side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player representing End Phase. It is MalGanis. So a TVP for you today here on the map Dusk Towers. One of the better maps, I think, in the current map pool of StarCraft 2. You have this fun little gold base back here that is protected by debris. You have an easy-to-take second base, a fairly easy-to-take and defend third, and a fourth that is close by, but it can be harassed from this high ground, and a fourth which is farther away, but much, much harder to harass and easier to defend. Usually, players will kind of go with this one and that one, depending on how they're doing in the game. If they're feeling very threatened and pressured, they usually take this one. Zerg players actually favor this as their fourth rather than this, just because the potential of tanks and stalkers up on this high ground are so darn dangerous for them. But there are no Zerg. There are no Zerg in this particular matchup. We will see what happens in the TVP. It is a barracks first versus a gateway first into an assimilator from MalGanis. And indeed it is. Refinery just finishing up for Kawaiian. As I always say, the early game for PvT is fairly darn similar. If you look at it here, gateway, racks, probe, SCV, nothing too different at all in that production tab. This probe being fairly annoying for MalGanis though. APM for these players, crazy spam from Kawaiian. Over 350 MalGanis sitting at a much, much more reasonable 130 to this point. But again, still very effective with the harass, effective with the scout. And here comes the expansion from Kawaiian. He knows what to do. He knows how to make this thing work. SCV chasing that sucker away. And second assimilator coming up. Cybernetics core on the way. What's interesting about Protoss is what they do after that cybernetics core. What can it be? Could it be an early Twilight Council into a Dark Shrine? Could it be a robotics facility? Will it be a Stargate? Usually robotics facility is what we'll see come out of these guys in this particular matchup, but I could be very, very wrong on that one. Reaper heading on out and is actually making a beeline directly for the Protoss base, but let's see what will be there awaiting him. Mothership core and an Adept on the way. Likely will both be popped out by the time the Reaper shows up. So if he's lucky, he will get one worker kill, possibly two. Possibly two. But I really wouldn't count on it if I was him. So the Adept actually only 50% complete, and the Mothership core is now done. Checking for that base first is the Reaper, making sure there is a Nexus here. Indeed there is. Not a one base play for MalGanis at all. And moving on into that worker line. Photon overcharge though. Oh man. Oh man, if you're a Reaper and you're scouting a Protoss base, I would recommend not walking right next to a pylon. If you see one, maybe give it wide berth. I mean, I guess the positioning on these pylons is pretty darn good. That's a big circle, that's a big circle. I'm not even sure actually where the Reaper could go. The positioning here is definitely on purpose, and I like it from MalGanis. The Reaper has a hard time skirting up that edge, skirting up this edge. Wherever he goes, he's going to be in range of a pylon with the photon overcharge, and he's going to die. Third Nexus on the way for MalGanis, emboldened by the destruction of that Reaper. And here comes the Adept heading up. But there's a nice wall off. Perfect wall off from Kawaiian. And actually taking shots from these Marines. Going to try to kill a few of them. But look, you have to 3-shot them now. 3-shot. No more 2 shots. 22 damage versus light instead of 23. It doesn't seem like a big difference. But a 2-shot of a Marine versus a 3 makes a big difference in a Marine versus Adept battle. So like I said, 2 bases up for Kawaiian, 3 bases now on the way for MalGanis, and I actually heard in the early days of Legacy of the Void that Protoss players kind of took their cue of when to go for their third based on what the Terran was doing. If it was a 2-base push from the Terran player, then taking a third was suicide. You really wanted to wait for them to get a third first. But more and more, I'm seeing Protoss players just go for it. Just go for that third as early as you feel comfortable. Be able to hold off whatever the Terran has coming your way. Use that photon overcharge. Use those Adepts. Get that Twilight Council for blink. And generally, more often than not, you will be just fine. Factory on the way. There it is, as well as a second assimilator for Kawaiian. Second base happily established and mining mules. Picking stuff up there as well. I've been listening to a lot of Night Vale, you guys. I'm going to put a link in the top right here, if I remember. But as you just search Welcome to Night Vale on YouTube, it's basically a radio show podcast that takes place in the fictional town of Night Vale. Crazy, weird stuff happens. It's not exactly a horror podcast. It's more like H.P. Lovecraft, more like existential dread and Cthulhu and unknown things and just weirdness, right? Like the feeling of the hair standing up on the back of your neck. Anyway, I've heard people say that I sound like the narrator, which is kind of fun. Cecil Baldwin is his name. What was that just died? Hold up. Ah, hallucinated Phoenix. I was going to say, that looked like a really weird death animation. Yep, hallucinated unit dying there. Anyway, Cecil Baldwin, pretty darn funny guy. He has some really good lines, and his delivery is very fun too. But yeah, check it out on YouTube. It's all free. There's nothing really to buy there, and it's just really, really interesting and a good way to spend your drives to and from work or school or your evenings trying to fall asleep. Although you actually have weird dreams if you try to watch it before you go to sleep. That's what my experience has been anyway. All right, so the Marine shows up. These probes are like, what? The Marine is clear across here. Attack! Attack! Get him! Stalkers, help! Stalkers, get it! And the Marine does end up getting killed there. Did the probe get the kill? No, probe didn't get the kill. Glory stealing, glory hogging Stalker got it. What a jerk that guy is. Heading on down is the Observer, just to scout things out. Observer number 2, actually. Production tab shows Blink on the way from MalGanis, +1 infantry armor, attack rather, and stim. For Kawaiian, third base is happily established for both of these players 5 minutes into the game. And here comes the first push from MalGanis. Stalker, Adept, Sentry, more Stalker. Actually, these look like defensive Stalkers more than anything else. They kill another Marine that has extended his reach a little bit too far. And are they going to pull back? Is that it? There's another Marine here for Kawaiian. Just sending out scouting Marines. I like this. Marines are cheap. Marines can actually kill stuff once they get to where they're going. Kill some workers as necessary, but really just for scouting purposes, they are pretty darn amazing. Observer here looking for drops. I like the Observer count from MalGanis. He has 3. It's very nice indeed. Setting up at the bottom of the ramp with just pure Stalker against this many Marines with stim, with Medivacs. Not going to be a good battle for you, MalGanis. Stimming and blinking out. The stim, then the blink. MalGanis recognizing that is not a good position to be in at all whatsoever. Income tab 55 to 60 workers. MalGanis is in the lead so far. Production is looking very, very good indeed for our Protoss player. Lots of gas income. Lots of gas, which is good because our Protoss player is going for 100 gateways. 3 gateways there, +1 coming out of those forges. I'd like to see some higher tech. Another blink back there. Okay, so Templar Archives now on the way. Going for Storm, going for Archons, which I like quite a bit in PvT. The Archons with their extra damage to biological units, which is what Marines and Marauders both are. Heading on up once again is our Marine buddy. Just trying to see what he can see. Okay, not the same Marine buddy. I'm pretty sure his predecessors are all dead. But, you know, they look the same. They're clones, basically. They shouldn't be clones. Are they prisoners? They're prisoners. They just all have the same face because they don't have any hair and they're all hardened criminals. And obviously they'd have the same nose and stuff. Anyway, Marines with Medivacs heading on up here. They might be in the wrong neighborhood. This is a lot of Stalkers. Sentry here, too, for that Guardian Shield. A bunch of Adepts mixed on in. And just Kawaiian has not quite decided what he wants to do here. Templar on the way, Storm on the way from MalGanis, actually going for the Storm rather than the Archons themselves. A lot of Templar in production, and a very standard-looking production tab from Kawaiian. Getting Concussive Shell, Vehicle and Ship Plating, level 1 there too for his Medivacs. A big attack, MalGanis standing on in, trying to kill what he can. Guardian Shield coming up on that left side, and then basically moving on out. And Kawaiian picks up, boosts out, another drop back here. Does actually take down a pylon that's morphing in, but the Stalkers get rid of that Medivac very easily indeed. Swinging up this left side is Kawaiian. There are some Stalkers here too and some cannons. If Kawaiian's not careful, he's actually going to lose a lot of stuff here. Landing right on top of the cannons. No, boosting on out. Don't worry about that one, my friend. Come back later and maybe there will be some nicer, happy hunting grounds for you. Fourth base on the way for Kawaiian in production is a command center and getting a fusion core. That is likely going to be for Liberators, and that advanced ballistics upgrade that increases the range of Defender mode by 4. Very, very good. Very good upgrade. I highly recommend you get that if you're Terran. Marauder walking up, happy as you can be, pretty as can be, and just gets absolutely massacred by these Stalkers. Poor guy. Bad rally there by Kawaiian. Another attempt at a drop. I guess he's paying attention to attempting to drop in 3 places at once, which is not going super well for him. Pretty good defenses set up for MalGanis. Stalkers and cannons along all these edges. And is that cannon going to finish in time? Get some pot shots off? Indeed it is. Pot shots on that. Is it going to actually kill it? No. Close though. Boosting on out. Coming up once again. There is a cannon and it's just difficult. No! Losing stuff. Cannons! Cannons killing everything. Blinking up and destroying those Medivacs. Another attempted drop over here. Stalkers cleaning out what they can. A big warping of Zealots to try to handle this thing. Zealots right on top of units. A nice Storm too. The Storm Zealot combo, very, very excellent for MalGanis. And holding it off. So 3 base to 3 base right now. Nobody feels very comfortable taking a 4th. Although, you know what Kawaiian does? I apologize. Kawaiian is very comfortable and going for that 4th base. Advanced ballistics on the way, as I said, from that fusion core, which is actually down here. Oh, it finished. No, wait. He needs the fusion core to get the upgrade at the tech lab. There it is, indeed. All right, so another attempt here. Just a lot of stalkers dying. Wouldn't mind getting some shots off there too. Both players just being a little bit cautious. 150 to 147 total supply. 80 to 68 workers. Kawaiian definitely in the lead there. As far as that worker count goes, does have that 4th base up and established. 4th base now warping in for MalGanis, but not quite there yet. So it's going to be who can land storms, what Liberators can do what. I would like to see Tempest play coming out of here for MalGanis. I'm not sure he knows the Liberators are on the way, which is really quite unfortunate for him. But if he can get some Tempest out, I think he just might be quite fine. Photon cannon, photon cannon, photon cannon. MalGanis really investing in cannons, and so far it's done him pretty well. In the end, he's lost 0 workers. Wait, one worker killed by Kawaiian. MalGanis himself has killed 0 SCVs. Another attempted drop up this left side. Again, the defense is just good. Cannon, Storm, Zealot. I like it. Another attempted attack here. Force fields pinning a lot of these units in. These guys behind here cannot actually attack. Some Marauders just getting massacred. Another storm from the high ground. Great positioning from MalGanis, weakening a lot of those Terran units. Another attempted storm bat down here, weakening a lot of SCVs too, and still hasn't killed any workers, but it's been doing A-okay. Another attempted drop up in this area. Feedback on that medevac. Cannons getting shots off there too. Heading up to this high ground, a storm seems a little bit unnecessary, but maybe landing up here would not be a bad idea for MalGanis. Medevacs swooping around once again. 2 observers here. The better to observe you with, my dear. Better to observe these medevacs patrolling back and forth menacingly. Income tab 81 to 71. Kawaiian still in the lead. Another attempted attack here with some Marines. Oh, 2 full medevacs gonna die. Oh, can he save it? Oh my gosh, he saved it. He saved that medevac. Amazing display there by Kawaiian, coming up over this structure, sneaking around this left side. This blink had already been used by MalGanis, and he couldn't blink again. Another attempt to drop up here from Kawaiian. Ready for the feedbacks? No, landing on the high ground instead. This is, again, exactly what I was talking about. These probes are forced to retreat. Another attempted attack up here with Marauders. Severely outnumbered, although against this many Stalkers. Great concave there, too. Liberators getting shot as they're just flying out nowhere. Yikes, Kawaiian. Blinking in once again and blinking away. These guys are still absolutely not hassled whatsoever. Adept gets caught trying to retreat on home. And these guys are basically locking down these 4 mineral patches. If anybody comes over that way, they will die. But otherwise, happily mining from the other half of the mineral patch. Observer on the high ground sees exactly what's going on. Stalkers blinking on top of everything. Focusing down the medevacs first, and all the Marauders get cleaned up afterwards here by Kawaiian. Marines, +2, +2, +3, +3 on the way. Stalkers, +2 attack, +2 shields, and +3 on the way. Another Nexus coming up here for a 4th base for MalGanis. Nope, that's a 5th. I'm a liar. 5th base, Dark Shrine coming up too. I guess maybe he feels like he's behind as the Dark Shrine. Anyway, Zealots come in here to actually stop this +3 attack. Can he get it? I think maybe he actually can. Yes, he's going to get the engineering bay. Can he get this other one too? The Zealots. Very close. No. Kawaiian saves it with the repair. With the mass repair of the SCVs, does manage to save both his engineering bays and clean out all the Zealots too. Nicely done indeed. Tries to take a 5th as MalGanis doesn't actually work out for him at all. Stalkers blinking on in. It's so scary. It's such a scary proposition. Another attempt to drop down here by Adepts. Liberator trying to snipe down that warp, but it doesn't matter. Going to kill as many workers as possible here, as Protostly possible. These units on the low ground getting killed. Cannons getting shots off on these medevacs. Where are they going to try to land? Up here, I suppose. There is definitely a storm or 2 available there. These Adepts are still alive. 3 kills, 2 kills, 5 kills. There's a drop on everything. Storm on top of everything, though. Templar can get out of there, possibly. Oh, Photon Overcharge cleaning everything out, too. Wow, just doing a ton of damage here. Did not get rid of the pylons quickly enough. And a cannon takes out a Liberator. Boop. Number 2 going for Liberator number 2. 4 kills on that cannon. Static defense is good, ladies and gentlemen. It is good. Somehow MalGanis has 9 workers on this assimilator. Not sure exactly what that is all about, but there's been a lot going on in this game. APM over 300 for these players right now. So much going on. 14 minutes on in Stalkers. +3, +3s. Going for that shield upgrade? No. Getting Immortals, though. I like that play. Immortals pretty darn good in this matchup too, has not done much to secure this high ground. He keeps getting harassed up here and hasn't done a whole lot to actually prevent any more damage from happening. Going to definitely lose that assimilator, which is annoying, but this... knocking down the rocks to prevent the attack. The Stalkers using that +3 attack to burn down those rocks pretty darn easily. Are these guys trapped up here? Attempted drop. Attempted drop up here. The cannons. Zealots trying to hold the line, doing fairly well, actually. The Stalker versus everybody else. Big old storms on those bio units. Another storm melting everything. Cannon here with 2 kills. Does manage to chase away the medevacs there. Doesn't lose too much in this particular area. Pretty good defense once again against these drops. Medevac lands here. Marines, Marauders taking out probes. Another attempted attack up here with DTs, but there are missile turrets and planetary fortresses. So DTs, good luck with that one. A slow warping of Dark Templar. Oh, so painful to see the slow warping. Probes trying to go back to work while there are Marines and Marauders here. The DTs do clean it up when they finally show up, but it takes a while. And then a lot of probes end up actually dead. Excuse me, 25-2, 19 workers killed. Kawaiian is in the lead on that count. It is currently 68 to 69 harvesters. Both players fairly even to this point. The aggressiveness, I think, is going to be on Kawaiian's front here. Zealot dies with 2 kills. Cannon here going to die with 4. DT hacking his way to victory, one-shotting those Marines and trying to take out the medevac. Blinking in once again, does manage to get it. Widowmine with a shot has 1 kill itself. Widowmine up here on the high ground has 2 kills. Widowmine placements. This Stalker versus an Immortal composition, not super good for MalGanis. Losing that Immortal very, very early. Look out, Templar. Gotta storm. Gotta do it. Is there enough to storm actually here? Oh, no, there wasn't. Okay, that's a big problem. Not enough to storm. Stalkers are trying to cover their retreat because they are so darn slow. 2.62 move speed. There's a big storm walking right through those. Kawaiian, not a care in the world. His bio units are doing very well for themselves, coming up to this high ground once again with reinforcements pushing on in here too. 183 to 154 total supply. Marines and Marauders taking down that assimilator pretty darn quickly, and kablooey. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming. Another drop here in the main base. There is ADT. Double feedback on the medevacs and killing one of them. Yes, with the storm. Great storm, actually. Well defended. MalGanis just keeps defending against these drops. It's just that the macro of Kawaiian is just doing so well right now. Another pylon ends up falling. Medevac comes back. Marauder says, "Where are my friends?" Oh, bruh, says Medevac. That's what happened to your friends. They are all dead. Big push here from Kawaiian. Marines, Marauders, Liberators. Again, not going for Tempest is MalGanis. I think that's a mistake. I honestly do. Another base coming up for our Blue Protoss player. Kawaiian seems to sniff it out, though. He's going to try to deny it as best as he knows how. And does he know about it? Well, he knows about it now anyway. Yep, thanks for playing. Another big attack up this way. Some reinforcing units do get taken out, but the big main army is here. +3/+3 on these bio units. Marines and Marauders as per usual. Base here from Kawaiian. Base here from Kawaiian. It has not really been harassed very much by MalGanis throughout most of this game. Liberator sets up. It does have 1 kill before the Stalkers take it out. Amazing big old blanket of storms here from Kawaiian, or on top of Kawaiian, rather, but there was only 1 Templar. The cannon's trying to do what they can. Zealots getting warped on in here too. Stalkers showing up to help. These guys will get cleaned out. They're going to take a lot of units with them. Another attempted drop here with cannons, and I just don't know if it's actually enough. Widowmine's trying to drop in. Templar gets a storm off before it gets evaporated. Does get rid of that Widowmine. So that was a big deal. Photon overcharge is being used. Trying to take out some probes. DT is being mixed on in. I like the base defense from MalGanis. Again, I've said this before. Photon overcharges, Stalkers, DTs, Zealots, regular Templar. Seems to be doing pretty darn well for himself. Income tab, once again, 69 to 72 workers. Fairly even on that income. 178 to 157 total supply. MalGanis keeps taking shots to the head, and he keeps coming back. He keeps macroing. He keeps expanding. He takes this gold base. This drop might be able to do something about that, actually. Can he? Nope, he is boosting right on into the main. A big warp-in of Dark Templar. Some more DTs coming from the top side. One-shotting Widowmines, one-shotting Marines. Bunch of shots on the Marauders to actually kill those guys. Widowmine here can't see anything, so can't actually kill anything, which is surprising. It's just a lot of gas investment into Dark Templar when I don't know if that's necessarily where you want it. It's really good against base defense, though, as I can see right now. Resources lost tab, 29,600 resources lost by Kawaiian versus 21,000 from MalGanis. So definitely in the favor of the Protoss player overall. He's been more cost effective, which is how you would expect it to be. Stalker randomly getting sniped down in the middle of nowhere. Medevac trying to fake like he's dropping somewhere, or she's dropping somewhere. Widowmine here does have 3 total kills now because MalGanis keeps warping people in that area, and they keep dying. Another attempted attack down this way. DT one-shotting fools everywhere. Another attempted attack on this high ground. I think MalGanis has pretty much just abandoned that base entirely, though. Good scan. Cleaning up the DT after he cleaned out most of the bio units in this composition. MalGanis says, turnabout is fair play. I'm here to get rid of every single one of your SCVs. There's a Raven throwing down an auto turret. Look at that. So doing more damage than it used to, lasting a heck of a lot shorter, and gets taken out easily by 2 Stalkers. So again, auto turret's not great, not super good. I'd like to maybe see them get buffed just a tiny bit, if at all possible. Finally, an observer shows up. Helps them clean out one of the Widow Mines. This guy is still here, though. And Marines and Marauders show up to clear out the Stalkers on that high ground. Big old push here of Archons. +3/+3 Zealots, Stalkers. No observers here at all, but I don't think it really matters. Then they back out. What's going on? Oh, they wanted to try. Oh, they wanted to try to save the Templar. They couldn't do it. Their buddy ends up falling anyway. What a bummer for MalGanis. Heading up, he's going to get his revenge on these bases. Big bio ball coming down the ramp, though, sniping down the Templar first. Good storms off anyway, though. 2 of them do manage to save their own lives with the use of that psionic storm. MalGanis pushing up this ramp after killing those rocks can go ahead and try to get a force a cancel. Forcing a cancel onto that command center. A lot of workers are dying here. 29 workers killed by MalGanis, 32 by Kawaiian. Both players really basically, exhibiting a lot of violence on their opponent's worker lines. Here come the Liberators. Pushing right on through, though, is MalGanis. He doesn't care. There are a lot of Marauders on the ground, though. Good storms. Good storms should really actually convince Kawaiian not to walk through those, but so far, so good. Surrounded on all sides, though, is MalGanis. Everybody getting killed except for the few Stalkers that can blink out. They do manage to escape, but they walk right into some Widow Mines, and this is the lone survivor. Ah, that hurts. That hurts so bad. Just not able to stand in a straight-up fight with only Stalker against this composition. I'd like to see maybe some Disruptors. Again, Tempest would be really great for MalGanis. Does he have a Stargate? Did he ever make one of those? Now that I think about it, I don't believe he ever actually did. Has some idle probes here, too. Liberators, Ravens, 183 to 185 total supply in production for MalGanis is a single assimilator. He is very gas-starved right now. He has a lot of minerals, not much gas. The opposite for the Terran player, as we can see up in the top right. These guys overstimming just a little bit. Some good storms might be able to clear these guys out. Defender mode circles, again, look like baseballs showing up to see what they can see. DT is mixed on into this army composition if Kawaiian doesn't scan, although there's a Raven. So never mind. Moving right on up to this base, leaving defender mode circles to cover their attack. Oh boy, here we go. Pushing right on through this base. Nothing at all to defend against. The Blink Stalkers finally come in to try to clear out these Liberators, but taking severe casualties from the Liberator defender mode circles of Doom that do benefit from upgrades, and pushing him away very easily is MalGanis, or is Kawaiian rather, killing that base, pushing the army back here too. I don't know how this is going to end up for MalGanis. It is not looking good at all for our Protoss player. This is a lot of idle probes just hanging on out. These guys, these 3 amigos are going to try to kill every single one of these probes if they can, but unfortunately their bombas and datas show up and take them out very quickly indeed. Another attempted stall here on this command center. They do manage to get it. MalGanis does slow it down just a little bit. This Widowmine has 0 kills. It's been sitting in enemy territory forever, and that's because it cannot hit buildings and it cannot see Dark Templar to kill them. Long distance mining going on from MalGanis, immediately replacing this Nexus. Might as well consider replacing this one too. Actually, that gold base for Kawaiian is up. This gold base has been a godsend for MalGanis, though. It's really helped him keep up in that income tab. 77 to 44 harvesters, so MalGanis is actually still up in worker count. So Protoss is not out of this one yet, Protoss fans. I wouldn't turn it off at just to this point. If he can catch those Liberators, maybe. He needs Storm. He needs Storm, or he needs Disruptors, or he needs Colossus or something to deal with his big old +3/+3 bio ball. Storms attempted, big old storms there. Walking through it again is Kawaiian, not really giving a care about them to any point, actually, and it's worked out for him so far, I think. I mean, I guess it has, although I don't actually know. DT here trying to snipe down this command center before the Planetary Fortress finishes. Reinforcing Protoss units to assist with that, and the Planetary Fortress is going to fall here. That's a lot of +3 Zealots and Stalkers to help with that. But once again, trapped into a corner just a little bit is MalGanis, trying to snipe down what they can with the Stalkers, killing a lot of SCVs, taking out that missile turret too, and just basically succumbing to the onslaught that is Terran. Although DT's mixed in, I don't know that Kawaiian knows these guys are here. No, DT is putting in a lot of work there before they finally do end up getting cleaned out, but those guys were super darn cost effective. 142 to 143 total supply. MalGanis is able to macro up an army instantly. SCV is taking out this Stalker with +3 armor, and they're going to get it too. Ooh, kabloo. Thanks for playing there, Stalker. It was nice knowing you, but that's enough for now. 25 minutes into this game. It is pretty much anybody's match right now. I don't know. MalGanis has this base back. He's mining once again. There's really nothing going on here. Kawaiian does have these 2 bases, which is great. He has the gold base. He needs to really get established. But again, that worker count is low. 50 workers only. Big old group of Zealots getting a full surround on these Marauders and a Storm to finish them off too. Wow, sniping down the Liberators with the Blink Stalkers. Pushing that out is Kawaiian, getting the heck on out of there. And this base is going to live for MalGanis. He has a lot of cannons coming up. In this late stage of the game, I'm not sure that cannons are the answer, just because they don't benefit from upgrades, and +3/+3 Marines and Marauders are incredible against buildings. Just insane against buildings. The Stalkers do slow down to take out the Marauders that were dropped in their path. I love the animation where the Zealot slices the Marauder, and he just stands there for a minute and then falls apart like into 4 pieces. DT here on a mission. He is a mentor. He's going to take out as much as he can. 6 kills on that guy before he dies. Widowmine might have gotten credit on that particular kill. Another attack up here with DTs and with Zealots. Stalkers holding on. A Storm on all the Marauders. Storm on top of the Medivacs too. Walking through the Storm are more Marauders here. Very low on health, which makes them much better targets for the Zealots and the Stalkers. MalGanis making great use of Sonic Storm throughout this game. I've always said that Protoss should go for Sonic Storm against Terran in all cases. More Stalkers here. 2 Stalkers against that many SCVs. I think the Stalkers are going to win that one. Another big old Storm staying out of those defender mode baseballs is MalGanis. 162 to 132 total supply. Sniping down as many SCVs as possible. These long distance mining SCVs are dying. Marauders getting killed by Storm left and right. Medivacs here to heal their damage as best as they can, but I just don't know. The Stalker's trying to hold it in. The Archon trying to morph on in. Blinking outside of the circles while trying to focus down everything as humanly possible and Protossly possible. Here's MalGanis. Can he hold this thing? Gets rid of the remaining Liberator. The Stalkers DT mixed on in. Finally a scan. Once again, Kawaiian recognizes what's going on just a little bit too late. Widowmine shots, though, massacring and ravaging those Stalkers. But guess what? These Stalkers are doing just fine. 5 and 5 kills each. 37 to 77 total workers. MalGanis, dude, coming back. These probes need to get to work. Get to work over here, MalGanis. These probes are idle. Do this thing. There they are, and they're heading on over to that Nexus. A big push here from Kawaiian. Not that big, actually. A lot of Medivacs, but not much else right now for the Terran player. And once again, Stalker, Zealot, Templar here. MalGanis with his favored composition. Widowmine's burrowing on in. Another scan. A big old Storm. The Marines just run right through. Any observers here? He is making an observer. He has 6 on the field. I'm not sure why he can't find one. This one looks like he's available if you need him for stuff. Stalkers, once again, +3, a +3 against +3/+3 bio. Not great by themselves, but with Zealots to tank and Templar to do that, Stalkers are not bad in this matchup. Another big warp in of Stalkers, 166 to 110 total supply. Zealots on top of everything. Widowmine shots clearing through a lot, but the Observer is now here. Zealots refusing to die, just absolutely charging on into everything here, absorbing so much DPS from Kawaiian's units, and that's it, a GG from Kawaiian. Kawaiian is defeated, MalGanis is victorious, and Kawaiian has left the game. What an absolute comeback from MalGanis. Holy smokes. He was down to nothing. He lost this space. He lost this space. He was mining from here, kind of, but he'd been harassed up here for so long, it didn't really matter. He'd been, I mean, how many workers did he lose in that game? He lost 36 workers in that game, but he killed 91. That's the huge deal. That is the huge deal. For all of Kawaiian's attempted drops and attempted harassment throughout this entire game, MalGanis made it happen. MalGanis killed so many SCVs, taking this base down, harassing up here too, just trying to kill as much as he could wherever he could, and it slowly added up, and Kawaiian was finally forced to tap out. Again, this composition is great. I love it. I love the Stalker, Zealot, Templar combination. The Storms can be very good against these bio balls. Kawaiian didn't do as good dodging as I would expect him to do, but you know what? In the end, it was just the macro and the harassment from MalGanis that got it done. And Protoss takes the win today. So well played there by MalGanis, and FaZe gets the win today. So that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.